Wowee! Disney has delayed Snow White over fears it will be a financial disaster, direct quote, and flop like cats. So, yeah, apparently, according to the Daily Mail, they have an exclusive on this. This is not a massive stretch, but it's interesting to take a look at what they are saying is their exclusive. So this was an article released on the 2nd of November, and it's very, very interesting stuff. So let's dive into this today. Marvel, Disney's, everything to do with Disney at the moment, their PR has been utterly appalling, genuinely appalling. You've had Rachel Zegler come out creating numerous bad headlines, and people say, no press is bad press. Absolutely, yes. 100% you're going to have bad press. And Disney are feeling the pinch on this now, especially as they have quite a savage, what looks like a savage hostile takeover occurring as well. So this is just another nail in the coffin for Disney. But this is very believable because they came out and released what can only be described as the most bizarre 180 in recent movie history. I mean, they released this. This is their first look image. Now, this isn't bizarre if you're expecting a Snow White movie. Of course not. But they'd come out and said they weren't going to have dwarfs in it. Peter Dinklage, King of the Dwarfs, was standing high on his pedestal and proclaiming to the world that Disney is ass backwards by including dwarfs. And Disney responded when he said this and said, yeah, no, okay, we're reconsidering, actually. Sorry, we're going to reconsider. And so then we get some, what was marketing leaks, showing a bunch of diverse merry men. It looked like bloody Robin Hood, for goodness sake. And there was one dwarf in there. And now they've just CGI'd in a bunch of dwarfs. What? So this article from the Daily Mail is 100% believable. So let's take a look. So insiders told Daily Mail that bosses are doing everything in their power to make sure it doesn't bomb after splashing $330 million on it. Which unfortunately, because it filmed primarily in the UK, or it did film entirely in the UK, it was privy to a 25% kickback. So that cost $330 million, they got 25% of that back. Bloody arseholes. So anyway, on Friday, it was confirmed that the film's release had been delayed by a full year to March 2025. So like I said, let's dive into this. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Can't remember if I said that. But here's the Daily Mail. They say Disney is said to be delaying its upcoming Snow White remake in a bid to avert a financial disaster, with producers reportedly fearing it will bomb at the box office and cripple any chance of future spin-offs. Well, yeah, but as well, why did you even think that the route that you were going down was the right approach to begin with? Why? These people are insane. So last week, the studio announced that it had pushed back the film's release until March 2025, a whole year after the scheduled date, citing the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike as the driving force behind the decision. Which is nonsense, because that's going to be over soon. And this was already filmed, by the way. So the reason why we know that this statement, the ongoing strike, that's the reason we delay. No, they had already begun. So the film was in the can. Right, they maybe had some slight pickups to go. But what had happened was they were already taking some promotional imagery. So the film was done. By and large, it was all done. So much so that they're ready to promote it. And that's where those leaks came from, which showed the diverse band of merry non-dwarfs. So them saying that they've delayed it because of that is utter nonsense. But an insider has exclusively told DailyMail.com that Disney is said to be figuring out what to do after making a $330 million turkey and is looking to Tom Hooper's widely panned Cats as a guide on what to avoid. Avoid making shit, yeah. So the decision comes after Rachel Zegler, who's only 22, plays the titular princess, launched a woke tirade at the original weird plot with a stalker prince, despite having only watched the 1937 animated once as a child. Because this is what I'm talking about, right? They released this. This is what we originally see leaked. And this is what we're getting. Sorry, what? What's going on here? Huh? A what? A what? A what? A what? It's ever so slightly off, isn't it? And I was looking at these images, trying to see whether there's any sort of coherency between what they're wearing and what they're wearing here. Just to see whether, for some bizarre reason, these individuals turn into the dwarfs, I guess. But no, they don't. And, you know, I mean, there's literally 7 of them, for goodness sake. So, they're back to the drawing board. You know, not a surprise, guys. Just stick to the bloody original. Pictured over the summer, the 7 magical creatures, who are supposed to be the more politically correct replacements for the dwarfs. But I think what's so funny about this is you're now CGIing over a diverse sort of, you know, gaggle of people with these. And the whole issue was, dwarfs, you were taking jobs from dwarfs. You should have hired them to begin with. And how much is this going to cost? This movie will be somewhere in the region of like $400 million now when this is all said and done. It'll never make a profit. So they say this. Disney had to delay Snow White because they have spent so much money on it. And if it's a financial disaster at the box office, it might single-handedly cripple future remakes and potential Snow White sequels that they have planned. Yeah. And that's their bread and butter at the moment. Disney doesn't release anything outside of remakes at the moment. They also have to remove themselves from the bad taste in their mouths of online critics and want to instead deliver a great film and get to a point where they get it right. They realise that they were overthinking things and are now reining it all in a little bit more. Again, this comes pretty much immediately after the South Park Joining the Pandaverse episode rips the piss out of them for pandering to everyone. Which, undoubtedly, this was. So, yeah, so funny. So funny. They announced that magical creatures, they literally announced it, would replace the 7 dwarfs. And this is their statement, and I quote, "Avoid reinforcing stereotypes." After Peter Dinklage criticised the effing backwards story because he's King of the Dwarfs, didn't you know? So they also say this, they just need some time to figure it all out. Plus, we're still dealing with the strikes. And that's nonsense. The strikes aren't part of this. But trying to figure it all out, how not to be woke losers. Yeah, it's not difficult. Just, you know, pull your head out your ass. It's insane. It is a perfect storm right now, but they're embracing change and anticipate it all to work out and exceed expectations. The work starts now. They also had to delay the movie because they not only have to make it as best they can, but there are a lot of toys that they have to prepare. So they need the dwarfs and the rest of the characters to look exactly like who they are supposed to be. You know how you get around that? You know how you get around that, don't you, right? You just make it right to begin with. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, I thought you'd find this funny. I do, obviously. This is hilarious. This whole thing is hilarious. So, yeah, apparently delaying because they are absolutely scared. Massively financial disaster, so on and so forth. I mean, mainly, it's clearly because they're trying to CGI in dwarfs. You should have just hired them to begin with. Would have looked better anyway. Anyway, thoughts down below.